Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session created for a client that had very extreme anxiety at any kind of clinic or doctor or hospital appointments. And it came as a result of a panic attack they had while in a clinic undergoing fairly routine tests. But because of that panic attack, they then would worry that they would experience the anxiety again. And you get this very strange paradox when it comes to anxiety, is that quite often your body's getting anxious about something that could lead to anxiety, which then creates the very anxiety you're looking to avoid. And that sounds weird unless you're living with it, and then it's very real. So this client had a period before that time, which was about 10 years ago, that they were completely blasé and ambivalent about having any kind of medical test. It was just routine. But it wasn't that more recently, and they were using avoidance as a way to cope. Unfortunately, avoidance just reaffirms this idea that you can't cope. And in this hypnosis, you'll hear an analogy of the monster under the bed, which has a subtle element of regression because a lot of children are scared about things when there's nothing to be scared of, but their fear prevents them from confirming that that fear is invalid, if that makes sense. So the monster under the bed is just an analogy. This client didn't have a fear of monsters under the bed. They had a fear of medical appointments. But it's a good way of getting them into this mindset of, what if this fear isn't real? And what if they've just got inside their own head and created a self-fulfilling prophecy? There is elements of parts therapy in this, elements of direct suggestion, of disassociation, of timeline, and also coping strategies like breathing out feelings of anxiety. So if you do have a fear of doctors, hospitals, medical appointments, you might benefit more than if you don't have those fears. But even if you have a fear of something else similar, like a dentist or perhaps a different kind of meeting or something like that, just get into this idea that you want to feel resourceful to do the thing, even if you feel anxious, but you're disassociating from the anxiety, and then you'll benefit more from this session. Of course, this was created for a very specific individual. References to the music and that kind of stuff to anchor resourceful states was all related to them because that was their experience. But if you like the idea of a bespoke session created for you, there will be a link in the show notes, or you can check out my website, adamcox.co.uk. You'll see a link there to book a free consultation call, and then we can have a chat to see if I'm the right hypnotherapist for you. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in that feeling of resourceful relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of tension, worry, or anxiety to start to feel like they're melting away and leaving your body in that outward breath. Breathing in relaxation and continuing to feel that any anxiety is melting away. Start to scan your body for any clues of where that anxiety has been hiding. Sometimes the chest, sometimes the gut. As you breathe in that relaxation, give it a color, a bright color, a powerful color. And as you breathe in, imagine breathing in that resourceful relaxation. And this resourceful relaxation makes you feel good. And when you feel good, that anxiety is just melting away. And as it melts away, see it or feel it leave your body in your outward breath like a grey, shadowy colour. And consider breathing in deeply like a transfusion of emotion. Breathing in relaxation, that makes you feel good. And feeling good melts away the anxiety. And feel it leaving your body as you breathe out. And therefore, the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you become. And the more relaxed you become, the deeper you breathe. Consider it an ongoing transfusion of emotion. Maybe you can feel that the anxiety, wherever it was, is getting smaller or less intense. And maybe that feeling of feeling good starts to expand, enabling you to feel even better. It almost feels like you're accessing a Zen state, a state where breath by breath you feel better and better, and the anxiety is leaving your body. I want you to get a sense that something happened in your past that led your brain to try and protect you. And that's a wonderful intention. The fact that your unconscious wants to keep you safe is magnificent. But sometimes people can have good intentions delivered badly. Everyone knows someone where their heart's in the right place, they only want to do good, but sometimes by trying to do those good things, they make things worse. And I want you to consider that there is a part within you that in trying to protect you from panic or anxiety is actually leading to more of it. And I want you to thank that part for its intention, while still not appreciating the strategy that they're using to implement that intention. And perhaps avoidance has been one of the ways that they've tried to keep you safe without realizing that when you avoid something, it makes it scarier. Your brain interprets the avoidance as a smart move because the thing was so scary. But what if it was the avoidance and the thinking that made it scary rather than the thing itself? What if all it took to make the monster disappear from under the bed is to look under the bed? It feels scary because there's a monster there, but when you look, there isn't, and never was. I want you to think about this part of you that's been using avoidance, and imagine what 20 years more of avoidance could be like. It's likely that the anxiety would get worse. But I want you to think about the consequences of that avoidance. Important appointments that were missed. I want you to think of tests or scans that could have picked up something really useful, but you never knew it. I want you to observe that timeline. See that natural consequence of 2 decades of avoiding anything medical or clinical. And if that seems to take you to a dangerous place, with consequences way worse than anxiety, let me know by nodding your head. Many diseases and issues are very treatable and manageable if detected early. But if you don't detect them early, they can be as difficult as putting toothpaste back into a tube. So see that timeline where avoidance is not your friend. Avoidance is more dangerous. I want you to get a sense that good intentions are sometimes linked to bad strategies, and avoidance and worry is a bad strategy. Sometimes people getting worried do things to try and calm their nerves, and that itself can lead to health problems. You've seen this future, a future that takes you to a place of something undesirable. But I want you to see a different future. Rewind it all the way back and see a different part of you. The part of you that is courageous, determined, brave. I want you to see the part of you that doesn't mind doing difficult things. In fact, gets a sense of pride. The fact that it's difficult makes the pursuit worthy. And sometimes that courage to look under the bed is all you need to see that the monster was never real to begin with. I want you to get a sense that what if all along this was just 1 + 1 = 3? Something happened in the past, and your brain linked up the feeling of doing something wrong, of failing, of feeling trapped, to a certain sensation, and you don't want to feel that way anymore. What if the thing itself was never the cause of the anxiety? What if it was one incompetent person phrasing something in the wrong way, giving you a look? That person probably doesn't even work there anymore. I want you to get a sense that there are so many other causes to this. Therefore, harnessing just a little bit of courage can sometimes mean by doing the thing you thought you couldn't do, that house of cards comes crumbling down. I want you to imagine being in your own home before an appointment. And I want you to imagine that two different versions of you get to leave that home to go to that appointment. The version of you with the good intention and the bad strategy, filled with panic and anxiety, or the version of you that wants a different timeline, a timeline that whenever you need to go to an appointment, you just go. Even if there is echoes of anxiety, you go anyway. And in doing so, the anxiety gets less and less and less until it's negligible. You don't even know it's there. And if you would like that confident, courageous version of you to go to the appointment, step into that part. No longer observing, but being that part. Imagine that anxious part gets to stay at home just as it wants. But the courageous part does what the courageous part would do. Feel the fear and do it anyway. If you're ready for that courageous part to go to the appointment, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. So just imagine wearing whatever you would wear to go to this appointment. Getting ready to get into your car, but as you leave your home and close the door, feel that you're closing the door on that old part. Closing the door on unnecessary anxiety, overthinking and worry. Close the door, hear the door close as you close the door on that. It's now in your past. That confident, courageous version of you purposefully walks to the car. And as you walk to the car, and you open the door of the car, you are opening the door to a new future. Step into the car, and the moment you feel the weight of your body in the chair, feel that you are activating a calm, stoic version of you that does what needs to be done. Imagine playing some music. Music perhaps from a time where this was never even an issue. And every time you feel any emotion from that music, it reminds you of what it was like to not even think about this. Imagine the music itself is awakening that old version of you, those old neural pathways that thought entirely different. So imagine having that journey to the clinic, to a hospital, to some place medical, and the very sound of the music is thawing that old part that never used to worry about that, has been frozen in time, but the music is melting away whatever trapped that part. The music itself is freeing it, so that becomes the natural dominant way of thinking. Every time you listen to a song from your past, it reawakens that part. There may still be some old echoes of anxiety, but as you park the car and leave the car, set the intention to keep any echoes of anxiety in the car while that courageous, confident version of you goes into the clinic. As you hear the sound of the door close, know Any echoes of anxiety are in the car, not with you. What's in you is the part that feels good. What stays within you is that confidence, that courage, that stoic drive to do what needs to be done. Many people don't like a blood test or a blood pressure test. They don't like the smell or the sound of a hospital. But you don't have to like it. Just accept it. And imagine checking into that hospital, that clinic. But remember, it's the courageous, confident version of you. The way that you give your name is confident. The way you fill out any forms is confident. Remember, that old version of you is still left back at home. They would fill the forms out differently, but you are not them. It's the courageous, confident version of you filling out those forms. Perhaps even continuing to listening to that music of the past that reminds you this used to be different. If it was different before, it can be that way again. Your posture as you sit, the breathing while you're in that waiting room, long, deep. Even your posture, a stranger would see you as someone looking relaxed and calm. It's that version of you. Imagine being called in, perhaps to a particular room, but any smells that you can smell that are unique to hospitals or clinics or surgeries. That smell of disinfectant makes you feel safe, knowing they're doing whatever they're doing to reduce bacteria. The smell makes you feel safe. As you breathe in, you're breathing in that resourceful relaxation. And as you exhale, that long outward breath means that any echoes of anxiety just leave your body every time you have a long outward breath. It's the calm version of you that you are awakening. First of all, imagine them doing whatever test they need to do, like you're seeing yourself like a stranger, like you're in the room but not you. See them doing the tests and see that you look fine. You're calm, you're relaxed, comfortable, even smiling every now and then, making the occasional joke. This is a version of you, unfazed, unbothered. Imagine all the different things that you would go through, but see it going well, and see that you feel in control and relaxed and calm when it's going well. And when you've seen it the way you would want it to go, let me know by nodding your head. So now rewind it. Rewind it, knowing that it's gone well, and step into that version of you before it's even started. So now feel they're doing whatever they're going to do on you. You're in your own body, but you feel as calm and relaxed as if it was something that was happening 15 years ago. It's that version of you that the tests or procedures are happening to. Feel a sense of calm, detachment as they do what they need to do. And you could almost imagine you're somewhere else. You could imagine you're on a beach or in a concert. You could imagine you're swimming in the ocean, you could imagine you're somewhere else while they're doing whatever they're doing. And you know that you can use your imagination because you've imagined yourself in a clinic when you weren't in a clinic, so you could imagine you're somewhere else when you are in a clinic. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, and what's been working against you can now work for you. It's just thinking, after all. And when you feel that they've done whatever they've needed to do, and maybe you get instant results or maybe you have to wait, just feel that stoic, pragmatic, whatever needs to happen will happen feeling within you. When you leave that room, smile to yourself. You did it. You did what was needed to be done. Feel a sense of pride, accomplishment. Feel that you faced a fear, you didn't run away from it. And maybe even ask yourself, if I can do this, what else can I do? And sometimes when people do something they thought they couldn't do, they have a desire to do something similar to it, just to make sure it wasn't a fluke, that it wasn't an anomaly. And maybe an idea pops into your head of something similar or even more challenging you could do just to banish this demon. To convince every part of yourself that this is gone now and it doesn't need to come back. Because what keeps you really safe is feeling resourceful. Avoidance and anxiety never kept you safe. It was just avoiding a feeling that was difficult. And you don't need to do that anymore. On the drive home, play that same music. And the music you were listening to now reminds you you've awakened a neural pathway, a way of thinking that means that the fear will get less and less, the anxiety will melt away more and more. And don't be surprised if you even have dreams of doing things that are even more extreme than this, but they don't faze you at all. And when you get back to your home, see that anxious, avoidant part that's been there all along, and realize that this good feeling of pride that you have from doing that thing that once scared you, you feel good having done what was needed to be done, and returning that other part still feels anxious because avoidance creates more anxiety. So tell that part, while you respect and like their intention, you don't like their strategy. And you think doing what is needed to be done is a better strategy than avoiding and worrying and overthinking. And ask that part if it's willing to help you feel resourceful whenever you need to from now going forwards. So you have a future of less anxiety and get to keep yourself safe in entirely new ways. If that other part agrees, seal the deal with a handshake and let me know when that deal is done. I want you to get a sense that a part that was holding you back is now an ally, now working with you, helping you feel even more resourceful. Feel that part reintegrate with you with the same intention, only with a new strategy now. Giving you thoughts that things will be fine. Giving you thoughts that, yeah, you can do it. And that by doing it, the anxiety gets less and less and less. It's time to leave this place. But you leave awakening a different part of your mind and your brain that was dormant for 10 years or more. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, start to connect and calibrate with the here and the now, as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.